how can I explain this? It'd be a lot of funny shit going on the internet. I'm gonna start it off like that. That's the best way I could put it. It'd be a lot of funny stuff to be happening on the internet. So nowadays, what has happened is you have a litany of different women that I'm noticing a pattern. You understand what I'm saying? Now this don't go for all women. You understand what I'm saying? But it goes for a lot of women. And what this pattern is we're going to exit the black spaces and we're now going to try to modernize and weaponize amongst using what are traditionally white outlets. And I'm seeing more of this and more of this and more of this go on. And I know I got somebody scared, didn't I? You went on that program, and I'm going to play it in a minute too. You went on that program with that man and that girl pretending, and yes, I did say pretending, that you were somebody that you wasn't, Miss Rubin. You a Brooklyn gal. Simple as that. You understand what I'm saying? And people in Brooklyn that talk like you usually move out of Brooklyn. They move down to somewhere else and they start pretending there's something different than what they actually are. That's how that usually goes. And so I got word that Miss Rubin had moved down to Atlanta down there, don't you know? Beautiful Atlanta. Shout out to Atlanta. And I said, okay, Natalia, you must be able to move on with your life because you moved to Atlanta. You ain't in Brooklyn no more. Now, this happens all the time. You get girls, they move out of Brooklyn, they move out of the Bronx. Now they live in North Carolina, they live in Atlanta. Now they forget where they come from, and now they trying to act like they something different. Lady, when you were doing that interview with them just a few minutes ago, it was so obvious that you've been over here listening to me, or somebody has came back to you and told you what I was sounding like. It's so obvious in the directive and the diatribe that you had earlier that you was listening. Oh, you was listening. You even went as far as you repeated my words. You repeated my words. You repeated my words. See, I'm the one that says you should be very careful. See, I said that yesterday. I'm the one that said the other word that you grabbed off. You was trying to talk about the vloggers, but you wanted them chicks. What you say today? What I've been saying. What I've been saying, Natalia. I say, shorty, won't you keep it a buck and say what it is what it is. And I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not here to disrespect you. I'm not going to call you out your name or nothing like that or whatever. But the truth is the truth, Mom. Come on, you here for the money. And this is an opportune time. And where you messed up was you got bold today. You said, run me my coins. That's what you said, right? Run you your coins because you ain't got no coins. Talking about Sean better run you your money. Sean in trouble now for doing the documentary. I was mentioned in the documentary. I'm gonna sue Shine now because I'm in the documentary. I didn't allow them to use my voice. Chick, it's a court case. A dissolved court case at that. Everything you was talking about, Natalia, on that show to that white man that ain't privy about shit in the hip-hop industry. And I'm gonna tell a lot of you white guys out there, watch for these chicks. They coming to y'all because they know they can run shit on y'all that they can't run on us. You understand? That's why you're seeing this exit of the chicks that gossip the most, with the exception of maybe one or two, try to make their jump over to white podcasters now because the pure simple fact the black podcasters and the Latin podcasters were tired of this shit. That's why. They think it's a bigger pot at the end of the fucking rainbow over there. That's what they think, don't you know? So you got to take these people in perspective for who they are, not who you want them to be. Now, I told y'all over a year ago, and I didn't care when I saw her the first time or the second time because I said, okay, this is the girl. Maybe clearly she's hurt. Something happened to Natalia or whatever. But Mom, quit trying to paint the picture the way it is because you're giving away what really is going on. And I'm the one that said yesterday, that's how I know you bros be listening to me. I'm the one that said yesterday, I want to see Natalia and Sean sit down in a room. In fact, I ended the live with that yesterday. And now all of a sudden you over there at the popcorn talk, talking about, yeah, and I'd love to sit down with Sean. Sean don't want to fucking sit down with you. Who the fuck are you to sit down with? Listen, this is where we get these delusions from. You understand what I'm saying? Chicks that ain't been shit, ain't nobody. Now I'm not telling you ain't shit, but I'm just saying, ain't never been shit in the music industry. Nobody fucking knows you like that. Everybody knows you because you the chick that go from podcast to podcast crying. I got shot 25 years ago. And you didn't even get shot. You got hit with bullet fragments. As I explained yesterday, Popcorn Planet, and I'll explain today, Popcorn Planet. Have you ever seen a motherfucker that got shot in their face? For real, for real? Have you ever? I'm talking to Popcorn Planet. You get your tubby fat ass over here. Listen to me, boy. Have you ever seen a motherfucker get shot in the face? Have you? Because if you have, you'll know that it's a lot more damage. It's not as easy and recuperable as you see Natalia sitting up there with her basically normal face underlying what she might look like without makeup. You understand what I'm saying? Her face looks regular, meaning the fact that if you looked at her from 10 feet away, 15 feet away, or whatever, you're not going to see the exact damage that you will see. And I want you to look this up, Popcorn Planet, boy. Look this up right here. His name is Conway. All right, he's from Griselda Records. He was shot in the face. Same thing, few feet, point blank. And I think he even had more distance than Natalia had. Natalia, if she had been hit, and this is just common sense, all right? Now, I heard that little white girl over there, she done made a threat against Puff, talking about, well, I got my gun. Bitch, don't nobody fucking know you. Another one of these wannabe. This bitch got baby dolls and shit on the wall talking about she got a pistol waiting for Puff. Bitch, you gonna need more than that if that was the issue. Now, my point is this, right? You got Natalia sitting up on here. This is the latest motherfucker she was hustling. She was over there at Anton at LeVay Atwood's page at first. Now she over there hustling Popcorn Planet. See how they switch in between them? I done figured this out. All y'all kind of play swinging chairs with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. Now you take them. Now you take them. Now you take them. That's how it go. You know what I'm saying? It's always the same usual suspects. Popcorn Planet, they trying to make a move because they trying to blow up. I ain't mad at y'all. Cover your story. But if you're going to cover your story, cover it right. My name is Davin Lewis. I worked 17 fucking years at Bad Boy Entertainment, including the time around when Natalia was motherfucking had her tragic accident. You understand what I'm saying? We went to court with Puff back then. That's why I'm around now and I go around. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to continue to be that. I've covered all the arraignments in person of Puff, not in my bedroom, not in my makeshift studio, none of that shit in person, nigga, boots on the ground. You understand what I'm saying? Natalia, in my opinion, is trying to take advantage of some momentum that is about to die within a month. In a month, and homeboy was trying to tell you today, well, bitch, he was basically telling you this. Chick, look here, the motherfucking trial died down. We know that. Whatever's happening is dying down. Christmas is upon us. We're going to have to find something else to talk about, but we're going to get back with you. Now, you're going to see Natalia disappear for a couple months, maybe a couple weeks or whatever. She'll be here. But the regular fucking podcast that she really be on, she won't be there. The high-end podcast, whatever, they're not going to call her in. For what? To tell you, it's only so many times you could tell that story, Natalia. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And you fucked up because you said, well, Shine was my friend. Well, if Shine was your friend, that's why you consistently keep on trying to point at Puff as a person who did it. But I hate to put him in it, but he's on record for saying it. Big Midwest has said like 20 times now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say 20 times, but he said at least like 5 times now that you know Shine hit you. You understand what I'm saying? And from what I know, it was by accident. You know what I'm saying? A Big Midwestern said that in 6, 7. I heard him say it all the dialogue. I heard him say it over at the Cam nigga shit. I heard him say it at a couple nigga shit now. So it's my understanding that was the same here. My understanding, the court thought the same way. It's my understanding the settlement that you waiting for, that you liquefied with Shine today, you should have been to receive that because Shine received $10 million. So I'm confused. Are you making a play? Because this sounds like some Brooklyn shit right here. See, if you ain't familiar with Brooklyn bitches hustle. You understand what I'm saying? Brooklyn bitches set up niggas. Brooklyn bitches, on the most part, are some good women. But the ones that are the worst of the worst, oh, please believe it. These are motherfucking shysters, heisters, and that's what they do. Anybody ever lived in Brooklyn know that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Respect to Brooklyn. I'll be over there. Shout to Sumner, shout to Marcy. I'll be over there. So I know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? You were in the midst of, if you're looking for to be in the midst of the wolves, there's three boroughs mainly. The Bronx, South Bronx, fucking Queens, especially Jamaica and all that area over there, and then Brooklyn. It's the most wolved out boroughs there is. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like almost every block the same. You understand what I'm saying? It's all the same almost. So for me, I know a Brooklyn chick when I hear one. So when I'm listening to Italian, she trying to articulate herself. I'm very punctual, and you can't even pronounce fully the words you're trying to say. That's the problem. That's why I tell people don't over articulate words. It doesn't make you look smarter. It looks like you're more of an actress on camera. And that's what you looking like to me, Ma. Now I'm being respectful as I fucking can here. But everybody's saying the same fucking thing behind the scene. And I'm one of them people that was fucking around. Do you get my fucking drift here? I was actually around. Do you get my fucking drift? So my point is, ma'am, when I see you up on these cameras or whatever, and these different podcasters pimping the fuck out of you, you understand what I'm saying? Because that's what they doing. They pimping you. You think you winning. They laughing at you. They laughing at you. They laughing at you because they all catching on. And that's why you're being bold about it now. And you're saying, oh, well, I want my money. I need my coins. Somebody J-Lo owe you money. How the fuck J-Lo owe you money? How? So much you got some inside information on how? You ain't never been in the music industry. If you spent all these years, you said on your own accord, you moved down to motherfucking Atlanta years ago. So what was you in the Atlanta music scene? J-Lo ain't part of the Atlanta music scene. Puff wasn't part of the Atlanta music scene like that. Who's kind of part of locals and local musicians, local artists, Atlantic Records? I think they still down there, and is Babyface and them niggas. I think they still got offices down there, which is Atlantic. JD, which is Atlantic, and I think that's it. Like it's a music scene down there, but most of it's solo music scene. It's not like the music scene in New York or the music scene in LA. It's not even the same thing. So that it's insulting that you would sit there and say, "So I got some inside information on Jay." No, you don't. You got chatterbox material. Stop it. You too old for that shit, man. You too old for that shit. Oh, you was 28 then. You was an old broad then. Respectfully, you was an old broad then. Here it is, 25 years later. You still told my niggas owe you money. You done got money. Maybe next year. Huh? Let's see something. I want to see something. Because I don't like that capping shit. You know what I'm saying? Your own son had told you to get off the internet. There's something wrong with that woman. And nobody wants to admit that there's something wrong with her. There's people that overly articulate shit or whatever, a lot of times they run and shit. If y'all wonder what I'm doing, I'm looking on, I want to see something. So y'all stay with me right here. I want to point out a couple of things here because I had seen these things earlier and I was like, well, hold up. Why is she still asking for money? Because you ran out of money. You ran out of money. And you can't live the rest of your life and your retirement plan is not going to be off the end of something that happened 25 years ago. It's just not going to happen, man. You're going to waste more money on this. You're going to waste more money on this. Now, here it is. Right here. Now, this is one of y'all trusts right here. And then when I told you, I said, yo, she don't have a whole bullet. The way she tell the story, like she was hit with the whole slug. You understand what I'm saying? That was not the case. Natalia Rubin says she is willing to have doctors remove a piece of bullet that remains in her face to prove that Sean Diddy Combs shot her. Bullet fragments, man. Bullet fragments. Bullet fragments. Bullet fragments, ma'am. Bullet fragments. You did not get hit with a whole slug. It even says it right here. Bullet bits. See that? Oh, excuse me, y'all. Hold on one second. That's why I try to tell you, when a bullet pop off, a bullet spreads. Hold on, the video pop back up in a second. Give it a second. It's gonna pop up right here. I don't know. Sometimes it take a minute. Yeah, there we go. There she is right there. What does it say? What does it say? Huh? Woman said Diddy shot. Oh, that's the one that Diddy shot in the face. Hold on one second. This is a different one. This how long she been doing it. This how long. This was March 28, 2024. Like, nobody's believing this shit no more. You doing too much. Like, you doing way too much. TMZ 2 months ago. And it's just saying the same shit over and 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 over again. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like, what? How much money do you think you owed? Like, there was other people that shit happened to them in that club. How come you haven't banned up with them? How come it's just always you that are the most vocal? Like, you, like, at this point, I really feel, because you took a settlement, and this is just how I feel. I just think like it's like it's inconsistent now. It's inconsistent now. Same thing right here. It says bullet fragments tested. There you're on the New York Post. Same thing. I'm not lying here. Nobody's making nothing up on her. What does that say? Bullet fragments. You wasn't shot with a whole slug, Natalia. And we got to stop pulling that shit. Here, this, you could control what they said right there. And I could show you several more articles where it say fragments. That means that a bullet went off in front of her face. God forbid that. But a bullet went off near her direction or in her direction or whatever. But it wasn't the actual bullet casing that hit her. What happened was somebody fired off. She was in close vicinity, and all the shit that shrapnel off. Anybody know how to fire a gun know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. This is why you hold it at air like that or whatever. When you ever see a nigga pointing the gun like that and all that shit, whatever, that nigga don't know how to shoot. You understand what I'm saying? You want to be able to control your motherfucking pivot. Left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, corner, top, in, out, in, out. You want to be able to control all that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, niggas back in them days, they used to be wild. They would pat. That's how they used to shoot. So it makes sense if you let off a bullet and the first thing it does when it comes out the cartridge, hit that pin, it spreads. This is why people always hold it away from their face, because they know if they don't. And this is why you have that control. Boom, bam, bam. You moving your arm almost like it's a sword. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why you have that motion and that control when you're trained to do it, because it appears to fact people that don't do it, they do this shit all the time. They end up getting backfire. Some people have shot themselves. Remember Cheddar Bob? Perfect example. You know what I'm saying? Remember Cheddar Bob and Eminem's movie? Cheddar Bob shot himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. So she was in the vicinity or whatever. But I saw her do something different today, doing her little, and I'm going to play it in a second, a little excerpt from it. You extended your story. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you started looking like a motherfucking slick motherfucker. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Never before have you added on, I've never heard you add on this partition. Oh, and then after I got shot, I went under. Now pay attention here. This is her own words. This is where you fucked up at. After I had been shot, I ran downstairs, and then I went to a corridor. Then I went to another corridor. Then I went and had a conversation with somebody as I was shot in the face. Shorty, let me tell you something. First of all, if your injuries were that heinous from you being shot in the face, the last fucking thing you doing respectfully is walking through corridors, having conversations with motherfuckers and all that shit. This is New York talking to you. Fuck all them niggas you talking to on the vlogs. All that. Fuck them. I'm talking to you. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know what you're doing. It's some classic Brooklyn shit. And now you're going to be like, oh, well, why you want to fuck up a hustle? Because a hustle ain't right. Shorty, you ran out of money. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to keep it real with yourself. You sitting up there trying to pretend like you something more than what you are, actress role. But in reality, you not. You ran out of money, ma. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you broke. Or what I'm saying is that money you had ain't there no more. You ain't worth 100,000. That's all I'm saying. You ain't worth 100,000 right now. Is that fair? You is not worth 100,000 right now. You understand what I'm saying? You might be worth under 100,000, but you definitely not worth 100K. I can tell by the way you dress. So my point is I'm not trying to be disrespectful, Mom. I'm just saying you adding on shit to the story now. Who told you that? And I hear a smidgen of you trying to be Jaguar right. And that's scary. See, Jaguar. You understand what I'm saying? I let Huggy do her Huggy thing. That's what she do. You know what I'm saying? Because any other way, me and her end up getting it in. You know what I'm saying? And she know what I mean. I know what she need. So, you know what I'm saying? We just allow each other to do our things. You know what I'm saying? That's fair because we both Tauruses. But I don't like when a hoe come up and start trying to act like something she ain't been acting like all these years you been on motherfucking camera. And I heard a whole bunch of Jaguar right in your voice today. Whole bunch of it, a bunch of matter of factly, a bunch of I know I'm gonna get this. You gonna fuck around and walk away with nothing and owing them lawyers that you claim you got. You understand what I'm saying? That's what you gonna do. Because baby girl, let's be honest here. All these niggas that you talking about, you want to sue, you ain't got one attorney or the money for one attorney that can beat the attorneys that they gonna bring, and they gonna bring a team. You think J-Lo just gonna have one fucking lawyer? And you gotta prove this shit. You wasting your time and your money. And this is why I said I think there might be a good idea for her son to sit down and talk with her and be like, Ma, go ahead with whatever proceedings you doing. But quit trying to convince the people on the fucking internet. This shit looks retarded now. Like I can see what she doing. Like, shorty, that's like slipping and falling in the grocery store or some shit you doing. You feel what I'm saying? Like respectfully, like that's like slipping and falling in the grocery store. Like niggas be on here talking about me. Like, what about this shit right here? This is old school shit. Like, shorty, you on? I peeped the whole play. You on there every time you go on there, you add a little bit to the story. Them folks over there, they're not familiar with the hip hop industry. Nigga today used to be like, oh, I don't know what the Son of Sam law. How the fuck you don't know what the Sam of Son law is? But you always talking about New York. See what I mean? Always got New York City in his mouth. This popcorn planet, nigga, you fat fuck. But you can't figure out what the Son of Sam law is. That's why I knew you was a fraud. I said, at least Lionel, he would have known that. Shit, Anton LaVey Atwood, he would have known that. I don't like that popcorn play. You a popcorn motherfucker, ain't you? Serves your name right. I don't like people like that. I just really don't like people like that because they're taking advantage of her. They know something's wrong with her. I could tell by the questioning you were giving her. I could tell by the trajectory questioning you were giving her because you thought them questions out before you asked her. You played off everything she said. And you knew there was some loops and some holes. Like that one time you said, oh, you mean you were injured? You went down there. Even you raised your eyes and you was like, hold up. This bitch went downstairs in the club. I don't mean like that, but I mean, a bitch went downstairs in the club, had conversations with niggas and all this shit, but you feeding to the world that you were so severely injured that you couldn't recoup right. No, shorty, you recuperated right. You talked about how you picked up a chain that you had found on the ground. That's how you supported yourself. Typical Brooklyn shit. What am I saying wrong? You say your homegirl found a chain that probably fell off a rapper, drug dealer, whatever. You took the chain, you pawned the chain, and you lived off that money as you was recuperating. That's hood shit. Anybody else? You took a chain that wasn't yours, took it and pawned it, and said, I'm gonna use this as my recuperation because all them niggas in that club had something to do. The fuck out of here, man. Come on, man. Listen. Come on, Ma. Come on, Ma. Come on, Ma. Come on. Y'all don't understand what I'm talking about, but she understand what the fuck I'm talking about, don't you there, Bubby? You understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, yes, you do. So don't give me that bullshit. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So my only thing is here, Natalia, you understand what I'm saying? Is as the years have progressed, now, and this is probably like your what, 20th year telling this fucking story? When does it end? What is it end? Like, if you really look at it from a different perspective, everybody moved up in this story except for you. You understand what I'm saying? Even prior to Puff getting arrested, he had moved up. You understand what I'm saying? Prior to Sean, after Sean had came home, he's now a prime minister. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my way back up on some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to figure out, Ma, when does it stop? Like, when do you stop e-begging? Because this is the e-beggar of the year right here. Y'all talking about niggas, like it's okay. I guess it's okay for in black culture, it's okay for women to get on and ask for money. That's why like they're the only women that you'll find a lot of times that'll be like, I need my bills paid when you first meet them and shit like that. This is from culture. So it's okay for them. Like the women lead kind of like black culture. You know what I'm saying? They'll let these bitches say whatever the fuck they want to say or whatever, whatever. But it's us guys that don't go for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, bitch, you not gonna say whatever the fuck you want to say around me and think I ain't gonna say nothing about it. I know a Brooklyn play when I see one, and that was a Brooklyn play you played on them niggas today. These niggas at the popcorn planet ain't gonna understand that shit, but I understand that shit, and I don't like it. This is who you really are. This is who you really are, Natalia. Old Brooklyn heister, huh? I got you. I know porky pies when I smell them, and I seen a pattern here. Every time you somewhere, like I said before, you got a cash app attached. But I'm begging. Everywhere that chick go back and look at, pull up any motherfucking shit on YouTube about her right now, and I guarantee you there's a cash app attached to it. And if I'm wrong, come back here and tell me I'm wrong. I'm gonna tell you like this: out of 10 videos you find, at least 8 of them got cash apps attached to them. So you get money along the way, but you now barking talking about J-Lo better give me my coins. I need my coins while you professing about God. So you professing about greed and God at the same time. Shit, God don't fuck with you. The devil fuck with you. The devil talks about greed. Listen, in the book Dante's Inferno, I love the symmetry here. His father, he finds his father while he's going to hunt for Beatrice. He finds his father in hell, and his father's in this realm of greed. You understand what I'm saying? Everything there is gold or whatever, whatever, whatever. But his father is all misconstrued looking and shit like that or whatever. It's a beautiful book. You should read it. Dante's Inferno. All three. All the way from his scent to, all of it. You gotta read it. So anyway, long story short, right? Funny thing is here, shorty, you're gonna end up in that same hell you was told by everybody else gonna end up. See, a lot of people throughout the ages, I'll give you a perfect example. The Crusades. The Crusades were fought on the premise that this was a great for the nation of Christianity, and we must compel these mongreled Muslims to convert and become something better. And we will send out the knights. This even goes into contention with the book I just mentioned, Dante's Inferno, because it was actually these soldiers. And so depicted in the book. And so these soldiers of Christ went out and they killed, they maimed, and did everything else they could do under the blue book to convert these Muslims into Christians. And after a failed tort of a little bit, what they did was sooner or later they started changing passages in the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? That all this stuff is heinous and all this stuff is blasphemy. And they paid. So you can't be a blasphemer but still be an accuser at the same time. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. That's like me getting up here and saying, yo, you know what? Fuck everybody in the music industry, man. All them niggas is devil. And I'm sitting here at the same time claiming, well, I spent 17 years around that same industry. Get what I'm saying here? Makes sense here? So my whole thing with Natalia is when you start running over here and you start talking to the popcorn planets and you want to talk to all those people, there's a reason behind that. You run to those outlets because you think the people are more so accept you more. Or as the reality is, Natalia really wants to be a star herself, don't you, baby girl? See, something happened. And I keep trying to tell y'all this. A lot of these people that's coming out the woodworks and everything like that you guys have never seen, but some of us know their names and their faces for a very long time. Some of these people are part of the loser class. You understand what I'm saying? See, what I mean by that is this. They had dreams and aspirations of being something, but they couldn't continue to work on it. They let some of them cases, they let drugs get in the way. Some of them cases, they let kids get in the way. Some of them cases, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, like Natalia, that happened or whatever the case. What's going on, Javon? You know what I mean? And so it's unfortunate, but that's what happened with her. But shorty, it's been 25 motherfucking years and you took the money. I mean, god damn, like what we talking about right now? Even people in Brooklyn, I asked about you. I know some people you anyway, like even some of the people in your block saying the same thing. They're like, why is she always on the fucking TV all the time? Like people on your block is saying that, your old block, they saying that about you. So I'm just like, yo, come on, shorty. Like, come on, come on, come on. When it stop? So this is my thing, Natalia. When you start adding point, and like I said, I'm gonna play an exception of this in a minute, but when you start like, you know, adding sauce to the shit, it's just like kind of like I said with the Ali Carter chick. Like she sure does seem very amped to go on everybody's podcast and talk about her tragic experiences. And I just don't, that shit just don't add up for me. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't understand unless you I wouldn't want to be associated with terrible acts like that. I wouldn't want to be associated with trying to run a con, a new wave con. See, a lot of the stuff that these girls do online, I keep telling y'all, is reverse psychology. If you check out one of the most popular majors in college, and I know this for a fact because I went to college, one of the most popular majors amongst girls is psychology. They all pick it. Even if they go in for fucking dentistry or some shit like that, they'll pick a minor in psychology. I'm trying to tell you, ask any girl out there, they'll tell you. If you got a girl sitting beside you right now, ask her if I'm right or wrong. Especially black and white women. They specifically pick psychology. So I know it was psychology when I hear it because I made sure that I took it too. So I know how to recognize it when I fucking hear it. So to many of your vloggers, what you need to do is get yourself sharpened up on reverse psychology. Because that's what the motherfucking AMs a lot of these bitches is using. They run the circles around you motherfuckers, so you just don't pick up on it. Huh? And then by the time that they ran it on you, it's too late. You understand what I'm saying? So instead of doing the regular shit with goofy journalists do. Goofy journalists be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, go ahead and say that too. Yeah. Don't be that nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Be the motherfucker. Be like, all right, well, bitch, where was you after 12:05 after that? Why the fuck was you at the club anyway? You understand what I'm saying? You say you knew Sean. How did you know Sean? Oh, you say he was just a bike messenger. Well, look at him now. That was years ago. That's the thing. You caught in the arc in time. You're caught in the loop, Natalia. See, I know that shit with Bad Boy is over right now. You understand what I'm saying? It might be brighter days and brighter pastures, but what's being planned out is something different. You understand what I'm saying? New kings arise every day. But the point I'm getting at is you, on the other hand, you, ma'am, it's got to be a conclusion to your story. And where does it conclude? Does it conclude when you get another check from possibly J-Lo? Does it conclude when you get possibly a check, which you say money is owed to you from Shine? Is it a check that comes from you showing up and saying, hey, I took down a black man? Well, good for you. You took down a black man. But shorty, the fact remains you took that check. You see what I'm saying? You took that check. And I'm going to read out how she took that check. Because you'll never add that into the conversation when you sit down with everybody having these jovial conversations. You'll never add it to the assessment of the fact that I need you to say at least 3 or 4 times when you get an interview that you took a settlement. Because a lot of people that listen to you, Natalia, are not clear on that. That's the problem I have. She's sitting around acting like she was just done wrong and she was shot point blank in the face. If you shot point blank in the face, baby girl, you wouldn't even be here. Now, she settled June 6th, and you was paid almost $2 million, $1.8 million. This was in 2011. She was paid almost, and here it is right here. All right. There she is right there. Like I told y'all, if her whole snooze, those are fragments. Guess she was messed up, but those are bullet fragments. Mom, if you would have got shot point blank with the bull case, your whole schnoz would have been going. You wouldn't have no schnoz. You would have had a whole jaw, like your whole shit right there on the side. See right there where the galls are or whatever? She wouldn't have had the galls on. She would have had something different than that on. Those are stitches and shit like that under there or whatever because she got hit with bullet fragments. This is what happens when the pen hits the bullet. It discharges from the fucking cartridge if y'all don't know. And then there's a whole spread of pellets. It's always been like this. Is why you used pellets back in the day because they were firing. They worked best with the firing pin. Now, let me explain this. We got to take this in perspective. Now it's less money, less problems for Diddy. The hip hop honcho has quietly settled all civil actions against him stemming from the infamous shoot up at Club New York more than a decade ago, the Post has learned. Sean Diddy Combs and his former protege Jamal Sean Barrow, a now defunct Times Square hotspot, struck a deal earlier this year with three club goers shot by Barrow in the notorious 1999 Melee court record show. Now I want to keep that in mind. Court record show. Court record show. That means this case has been judicated. You cannot go back unless you got new evidence, which ain't no new evidence because you ain't got none, Natalia. You're bluffing. The exact terms of the settlements were unknown because of confidentiality agreements between the parties, which you were supposed to uphold to, which you didn't. But former Club New York owner Mark Burgers, who did not sign a confidentiality deal, said the most seriously injured victim, Natalia Ruman, was paid $1.8 million. Ruman was shot in the nose and suffered seizures because of several bullet fragments still lodged in her face. The bullet fragments are from the pellets. Just like I said, she got hit by the bridge. If you guys don't know, by the bridge across her nose. That means her whole upper lip, this right here probably, but these were bullet fragments. Had this been a whole bullet hit Natalia, her whole schnoz would have been going off at the velocity of the bullet. Only niggas that are not in the know understand what I'm talking. I don't understand what I'm talking about. But if you are this close and the bullet versus the bullet fragments, meaning the shell casing, meaning the fragments from the ejection of the firing pin to the bullet or whatever. Those are the things that hit you. That's why it's never good to hold a gun close to your face because it can backfire. That's what they mean by the backfire. Sometimes those same pellets will allow the fucking chamber, it will explode inside the chamber of the gun. And now the where you cock at, the motherfucking piston pin comes back, shoots off, and hits you in the fucking shoulder or something like that. This shit happens. So they all, this is why it's always best to go learn from a professional how to shoot. But long story short, that's what happened to Natalia. You got hit with bullet fragments, mama. It ain't no disrespect to you, but you're not telling the story the right way. You making these niggas, you going up there telling these niggas, making it look like, yeah, I got shot in the face. Da da da. We know Conway from Griselda Records. Everybody know Conway the rapper. Conway got shot in the face. You see how Conway face look? That's how your face will look, Natalia. It will be linked just like that because you will have no muscle movement. Listen, if you want to get into this real deep, let's do it. Let's do it. Is what's the word we look for? The most facial tissue is easily injured because the skin in the face is very thin and delicate with a high concentration of blood vessels, making it prone to cuts, abrasions, bruising, and even minor impact due to its sensitive nature and underlying soft tissues readily exposed to trauma. Essentially, the face has a lot of soft tissue with minimal protective bone structure compared to other body parts. Okay? So this to give you an example of if she would have got hit with a whole bullet versus a bullet fragments that she actually got hit with, it would have been a different deal. Natalia wouldn't even be looking like the person that you're thinking about right now that you see. You understand what I'm saying? Now let's listen to this. How long does it take? How long does it take to heal? Matter of fact, you know what? I want to do this instead. I want to do this instead. Facial tissue. Because that's what niggas need. They need that type of tool. So we're gonna sort that out. We're gonna sort that tool. Okay, we could do that. Facial tissue and gunshot. Because I don't know what the fuck y'all be. I did my investigation. Investigated what? What the fuck did you be investigating the wrong shit? Know what I'm saying? Here we go right here. So this is patterns of tissue injury, okay? Patterns of tissue injury, specifically to the face. One of the commonest determination of forensic pathologists is a range of fire, just like I was explaining to you guys. The range of fire. Keep that log in your minds. Gunshot wounds are typically classified as contact, intermediate range, or distant range. Contact means I'm right up on you. Intermediate range means anywhere from I would say anywhere from 2 to 6 feet, or was it 2 to 8 feet? I forgot exactly. And then distance range. That's anything, I don't know, considerably probably 8 to out. You understand what I'm saying? I would say that 8 to out. I mean, anything else other than that, you probably need a scope unless you're a real good sight. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Suit in the hand, grows contact with gun, interest wounds, contact wounds consistently. Okay, here we go. Contact wounds characteristically have suit outside of the skin and muzzle imprint, or laceration of skin from effects of gases. Contact wounds of air guns usually lack these features. Intermediate or close range wounds may show a wide zone of powder stippling, but lack a muzzle imprint and laceration. The area of the powder stippling will depend upon the distance from the muzzle. Now I'm using that right there, and they're talking about firing with just the residue. But what they fire with the residue cartridges is for the pure simple fact they want to get an impact. So if you're not following me here, these people, they actually do what can I call it, testing and things like that with powdered bullets. So basically, you can shoot a powder bullet. Some people do it with ink, some people do it different ways. But you can fire one of these bullets off or whatever, and they'll make contact, whatever it's making contact with. But instead, they'll know the spread range based off of the way they have the powder and everything else in there. They'll be able to determine what the spread range would be. So that's what these guys do. The size of the bullet interest hole can be function of tissue, can be a function of tissue elasticity. When the bullet enters the skin, the tissue is radically accelerated and displaced configuratively so that for a short time the hole is even larger than the cross section of the bullet. For the skin with elasticity, I can't say that right now. The radial displacement is reversible, and the interest hole narrows after the bullet has passed. So the diameter of the permanent skin defect is usually smaller than the bullet caliber. Okay, the strongest differential is most marked in the wounds from a round nose or pointed bullets. For bullets with a flat front bounded by a sharp edge and cutting edge promenades. The punching out effect of the flat nose bullet produces a larger skin defects and narrow abrasion rings compared to the round nose bullets. The greater area size and the sharp definition of interest holes from wide color bullets are usually featured in target shooting. Thus, interest holes tend to be largest in wide caliber bullets, medium size in truncated cone bullets, and smallest in round nose bullets. The width of the abrasion ring is related. Now, if y'all don't understand any of that fucking whimsical jargon, basically what they're saying in layman's terms is these three styles of bullets can determine the entrance point, how wide the entrance point is, how wide the exit point is. You understand what I'm saying? Natalia didn't have none of that. Natalia had bullet fragments. That means if somebody was shooting wild, they shot in front of her, she was within the trajectory of that shooting, and they brazed her or whatever. Do I think that was worth $1.8 million? Absolutely. You got almost $2 million. And I want to ask you, ma'am, where the fuck did the $2 million that you almost got go? Within how many goddamn years? 13 years? No. What I think we need to be having a conversation about is money motherfucking management. That's what we need to be having a fucking conversation about. Because, see, I know a motherfucking chick when I know one. And bitches is not good at keeping money, especially a bitch that got motherfucking high motherfucking expectations out of life. From Brooklyn. So my point is, you understand what I'm saying? My point is, if you got high expectations in life or whatever, you spend money very quickly. I think her money management skills were down. This is why she wasn't able to maintain that $2 million. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you move to Atlanta, man, you can open a business that could have bought into a franchise in Atlanta for $50,000. Y'all want to take this walk with me? Y'all just want to be victims and shit. I don't just call that victim shit is taken too far. We talking reality here. You, ma'am, received $1.8 million after taxes. If I'm right, you should at least have 1.58, something like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you move to Atlanta. I think Atlanta takes like something like 28. That might have been the reason your ass moved down there in the first place, because of the tax rate. Niggas ain't in the know. They ain't gonna know what I'm talking about. But the state tax rate down there, I think, is like 20 something percent. Very low compared to the Northeast. Up in New York, they would have took a damn near handful of that shit. So my point is, you moved to Atlanta, whatever, whatever. So you still got at least 1.5 million left, right? Why you ain't open a business? Why you ain't buying to one of the franchises down there? You could have bought into an Arby's for $100,000. You see what I'm saying? You could have bought 3, 4 Arby's. It was poor money management, Italian. That's why you sitting up here nowadays, motherfucking pimp hustling with these motherfucking vloggers. You understand what I'm saying? Let me tell my story again. I know it's going to be the same way. So now you got to the point now where you got to add shit to it. Oh, let me tell you about once I got the bullet fragments in me. I ran down the stairs and I had a conversation, and I thought Puff and them were coming downstairs to take me out and finish off the job. Listen, Natalia, you weren't even that fucking important. Nobody fucking even knew you like that. Like, Sean, if he really cared about you like that, why the fuck would he fall off in front of you if he knew you like that? Y'all ain't asking the right fucking questions. Y'all ain't asking the right fucking questions, the old gal. And today, when you got browsy, and you got a little too browsy today, because you was like, run me my coins. Mama, you just let everybody know the whole reason you was doing this the whole time is what I said a week and a half ago. I'm never wrong about a motherfucker. That's why niggas keep me around. Never wrong about a motherfucker. If I say, yo, something up with that motherfucker, or this person did that, I'm always 98% of the time right. 98% of the time right. I never fail. I never fail. Anybody that know me can tap that in, hit the like button or whatever. You know me in real life. You know I'm never wrong. Niggas be getting mad at me. They be like, yo, why you say that about them? Because I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, something wrong with Shorty. Shorty done ran out of money, and now you out here running up game. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not mad at you, Mom. Only thing I'm simply asking is one thing. One thing and one thing only. When you tell this story, keep it real and just tell niggas, yo, I'm out here to get this bread. That's all you got to do. Just tell niggas from now on, I'm out here to get this bread. That's being real about it. You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't give a fuck about this victim shit. Let's keep it real. You don't even give a fuck if Puff get convicted. Let's keep it real. But if you get a check out of this, that's what you really want. You understand what I'm saying? I know the soul of a Brooklyn motherfucker. Don't you give me that bullshit. You run that shit with them niggas. Don't run that shit up here with us. That 3-card Marley scale shit. The fuck out of here. I know a fucking hustler when I see what, oh God. 25 years later, I'm still, bitch, you'd have got more press than you would have got as a singer. I mean, when you really think about it, it really worked out for you. Look, you on dumb different blogs, you've been on TMZ, all that. You may not have none of that shit if you would have just played the course and just been, this is what God elected, you know what I'm saying? And so, in my opinion, you got your redemption. You got $2 million. You ain't never have to throw an album, you ain't have to work for it, you have to do nothing. And God forbid what happened to you was tragic. I ain't gonna never take that away from you. But the fact remains, Mom, like, come on, like, what we doing? What we doing? What we really doing? What we doing? What we doing, Natalia? What we doing? I've got lawyers set up and I'm gonna go after Sean. I'm gonna go after Diddy. What, for some more fucking money? Cause you ran out of money? Now that sounds like a desperate move. And listen, I ain't so petty that I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, but I gotta say it like this. You motherfuckers, this is what I say about like African Americans, and I hate to say this shit, but it's gotta be said. Like, niggas is African Americans. I don't know if y'all niggas is starting to become silly, desperate, this dumb or what, but like, let me put you on to something, right? Y'all are in a position now where the men, I'm talking to the men of the culture, right? I'm talking in a position now where in society, most men think that the women run you. You understand what I'm saying? And they think this, the same thing with white men too. They think this, and this is why so many black women and other women of different races run after white men, because white men are the epitome of this. They've been working on them with this feminism shit since the 50s. They just started with niggas 20 years ago. Point of getting it is you have a lot of niggas that will back a bitch just because she said some shit without doing no investigation. Now, if you're a real street nigga, you know shit like that can get you fucking killed. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Shit like that can get you killed. You understand what I'm saying? You running up on niggas and I don't even know the full fucking story. You understand what I'm saying? You just going off what a bitch told you. Now, I'm not calling her a bitch. I'm just saying in general. You understand what I'm saying? It's never a good move. And I'm talking to all the young fellas too. Don't y'all let no any old bitch just run up on you and tell you, listen to me, young fellas. And some of you older ones too. Listen to me. Don't let no bitch run up to you and tell you this, that, and the other and the third happened without you being the due diligence as a man and taking it upon yourself to investigate. And whether that bitch is right or wrong, you let her know. So she'll never pull that shit again. These niggas, they want to coddle these bitches in that sense. In sense, these chicks have started getting a personality where they're like, well, fuck it. I'll do what I want to do. You understand what I'm saying? There's chicks out here that think I'll go start something, I'll say whatever I want to say or whatever, and then I'll get Ray and whoever else to back me up with my bullshit afterwards. You understand what I'm saying? So like I'll run back to Boo Boo and Ray and tell Boo Boo and Ray, yo, this dude said this about me, da da da. Boo Boo and Ray don't never come investigate because they ain't smart enough. They don't never come check the temperature and be like, yo, Shorty came back and told me this. Can you tell me what's going on or how you see it or whatever? Then you make your determination. You want to bang out, you want to do whatever you want to do, you do it from there. But I done seen niggas get killed, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like real talk. I ain't playing with you. I done seen niggas get dumped out. And so I'm like, yo, and it was all because of a bitch. All because of a bitch. So I don't give a fuck what a nigga say. I got a partners in the ground because of a bitch. Real talk. I know two niggas that I knew both the niggas, and the niggas killed themselves. Well, one nigga killed another nigga, and both of these niggas knew each other, and the nigga stabbed this nigga up over a bitch. See, I don't know these stories. I know these stories, and that's why I'm saying, like, I don't like when, like, a lot of Black American chicks, they got this thing, and Latin American chicks do it too. They got this thing where they'll go start shit with niggas, and niggas, if you a real nigga, you know what I'm talking about. They go start shit with niggas, or sometimes they'll go flirt with a nigga in the club or something like that, or whatever, all because they want to see some action. They want to see niggas fight. They want to see niggas bickering. Some of these bitches are born and raised this way. You got to understand this. You understand what I'm saying? But when you from certain perils or certain areas and shit like that in the New York City tri-state, I expect you to act a certain way, and I know how you gonna act. And I hate to say it, shout out to all my Brooklyn niggas, but anybody from Brooklyn right now know what a real hardcore bitch, especially if you was 25 years old back in 1999. Actually, you was older. You was 28 years old back in 1999. You understand what I'm saying? So back in 1999 when this happened, you was 28, Natalia. 28. You know what I'm saying? You was damn near 30. So my point is, for the past next almost 26 years, you've been telling the same fucking story over and over and over. So my only question to the crowd, to you, and to everybody else, including your own son that told you, your mom, I think it's about time you get the fuck off of social media and shit. You said that out of your own admittance. Good for that young man. You understand what I'm saying? Good for him. And I hope you have continued success. Hold down your mom. Something is wrong with your mom, Dukes. You understand what I'm saying? She out here desperate for money. That's what it's looking like. So to me, that's begging for cash apps. And any motherfucker that entertain that, whether it be Anton LaVey Atwood, whether it be, even though you got some good programs, shout out to Lionel, not Lionel B, the other Lionel, but I ain't got no squat with Lionel B. And the popcorn shit or whatever the fuck that bullshit is that you run over to or whatever with that fat motherfucker. Nigga sound like motherfucker. Nigga sound like Barney Rubble. I was like, this fat jolly motherfucker over here sound like Barney Rubble. You know how Barney used to laugh, hey Fred. Barney Rubble looking motherfucker. Looks like that. Like, nigga, look at this nigga. You would think this nigga know anything about hip-hop music? Look at this motherfucker. Look at this mother. This nigga got a plaid shirt on. Are you serious? And y'all running over here to talk to this nigga? Instead of building your own. Listen, I wouldn't even have a problem if y'all were building with y'all own and y'all had these conversations, these topics or whatever. But the fact that y'all running over to anti-LeVay Atwood running over here to the popcorn nigga or whatever. You bigging up their platforms, making them big and shit like that or whatever. And then at the end of the ride, these niggas can dismiss you at any given time. All right, story's over. Goodbye. You don't never get that part. And then when you don't get them phone calls for 4 or 5 months until something else pop up again, now you back in the game. Oh, well, thank you. Now you celebrating the same nigga now that he got 30,000, 70,000 motherfuckers that he built off the back of you and your tears and your stories or whatever. Now you looking stupid while this nigga got you on phone call hiatus for the next 4 months because the story that you previously was involved in ain't cracking no more. That's just what's about to happen to you. The puff talk will be limited. It'll be in shock value for the next 5 months. Any motherfuckers in the know what the fuck I'm talking about. Millionaire. Oh my God, we got a new lawsuit. So what? You got a new lawsuit. So what? It's not part of the criminal investigation. That's the point. That's a civil lawsuit that can be settled or it can be tossed or whatever. Y'all don't even know the pattern of civil lawsuits. It's got to, first of all, the judge has got to say, yo, this is enough to take the trial. So there's a separate hearing just for that. Dummies. So like I said, man, I don't feel no I don't feel nothing but empathy for her. I'm talking about Natalia. I do think something wrong with her. I do think she need to seek some urgent care. I think she do need to get the fuck off the internet because you looking crazy out here. Like, I don't know why nobody in your family told you that. Like, ain't nobody tell you that. Them niggas probably greedy too. That's why they ain't told you. And niggas need to tell you, like, for real. Somebody need to sit you down and be like, yo, Mom, listen, I feel empathetic what's going on with you. Like, no doubt. But, like, yo, all this adding shit, the actress roles and shit, like, like, big fella, what has become of you, big fella? Big fella, this ain't like you. You said you was only going to hustle the club shooting. Now you getting involved in everything. You got secrets on J-Lo, you said. I said, that shit sound real Jaguar Wright-ish. You not Jaguar Wright. Jaguar gets a pass for a reason. She knows that fucking reason. You ain't Jaguar Wright. So what I would do if I was you, Natalia, I would stop all the threats you hopping on because you feel somewhat in power because you sitting down with these white folks at their podcast. You know, sometimes niggas feel in power when they be around white folks. Oh, Lord, I'm around the white people. I know this is real now. They go believe me now. No, Natalia, ain't necessarily true. They ain't going to just believe because you're around white people. Some of the white people, I was reading those comments, they ain't believe you either. It was one dude that was in there, he would say, oh, not this chick again. That's what he said. He said, not this chick again. And don't tell me you ain't see that privy to the fact of what I'm saying here. Like, I'm not bombing on the chick. I'm just simply saying, like, chick, you made your own admittance today, so I can't play off her words. Hold on, let me put it in perspective. Let me put it in perspective. Because that's when niggas like they like it in perspective. I forgot. I gotta do it the mandatory way because these motherfuckers can't even. That's why I say y'all be terrible in the war. Pero toda la gente latino, tú sabes, por mí, las personas latinos, otro porque eran negros americanos, tú sabes, diferente, tú quieres, nos gustan a las mujeres, mucho más. The fuck? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Mujer, no siempre es mujer. Pero la gente latino, tú sabes, ¿no? Pero loco. Esas mujeres no están bueno ahí. What the fuck, yo? All right, here we go. Come on, fucker. Hey, y'all give me a second. I gotta restart my tab. And this shit ain't got stuck or some shit. I don't know. Like when this shit get low, that's the only thing I don't like about this shit. When this shit get low on memory, the shit gets stuck and shit. You gotta restart the tab. This is Samsung too, just to let y'all know. I ain't got no cheap ass tablet, but that shit be happening. Anyway, yo, like I said, man, shorty, I ain't trying to bomb on you or nothing. But it look like niggas is trying to use you. You trying to use niggas, and they gonna use you before you use them. So my best advice for you is chill the fuck out. Go sit down some fucking way. You know, like this shit getting old, man. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like this shit getting old now. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you gonna go forth and get your money, go forth and get your money. But I don't think this shit gonna even see the courtroom. The Shine shit, Mike. You know what I'm saying? You claiming Shine owe you some money too. He ain't give you your portion yet. Is that what it is? So why Shine ain't give you your portion? Shine received $10 million a year before you got paid out. That don't make sense. Huh? You don't tell him that part, do you? You don't tell him that part? Some of that money, because y'all niggas be reporting Shine got $1 million. Shine ain't getting no $1 million. Shine got $10 million from Gangland Records. Some of that money was intended because they knew that this motherfucker and 3 other motherfuckers were going to be in hell for that. So, you know what I'm saying? Some of that money was intended for that. It was. That's a lie. Look, it may not look like that to Shine. But why the fuck else do you think they would give you $10 million? They knew it was impending litigation coming in from Natalia and 3 other people prior for 3-4 years before motherfucking China even got released. Now tell me I'm lying about that shit. Huh? I'm lying about that? Listen, 3 to 4 years before, and I'll catch up back on this one. 3 to 4 years before Sean was released, he knew this litigation was in process. Your lawyers knew this litigation was in process. That if you say anything other than that, you're lying. That means you had horrible counsel, if anything. They didn't tell you that hey, there's a woman that's seeking damages from a shooting that you were involved with and now currently convicted of and sitting here tapping time. A lawyer didn't tell you that? So you knew for 3 or 4 years, the whole time she had this under litigation, that she was going to sue you, and so did other people. Now, here's a man that's coming out of prison, if y'all don't understand. Here's a man coming out of prison after doing almost close to 10 years. He has no money. He has no records out or whatever, and the chick wants to hit him with millions. We got to let him take a hit again. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we sweeten up something for him. So really, Shine walked off with probably like $6 million to himself. You know what I'm saying? Divided by the 3 people that was with Natalia that had to get paid out. They probably got like $4 million altogether, whatever on their end or whatever. Judging that Natalia was the worst hit, and she got motherfucking, what was it, four, almost $2 million? So the others, they got like what, 1 million, 100,000, 500,000, something like that. So that money was intended like that. It was the help. Y'all don't understand the old ways of how we used to do things, but that's what it was. It was the help. Natalia knows that. That's why it was sweet timing, right? That happened in what year, Natalia? 2011. You got your settlement in what year, Natalia? 2011. Shine got convicted in what year and did how much time, Natalia? She got to add these dates up. You add the dates up and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like my man Fabulous said, you had to be there. You had to be there. You understand what I'm saying? It was some beautiful years, but you had to be there. So this ain't a pot shot or, you know, taking flight on Natalia or whatever, but, yo, Honey Buns, niggas got questions, Honey Buns. You understand what I'm saying? Or, a lot of shit you're saying don't add up. Sound like that nigga from Brooklyn that was in that skit. So then I swish out the math hopper. So then I spit the nigga around, and that's when the shots started firing. So I put the nigga in the full medicine, and I had the gun like this, and I swung son to the left, and I swung him to the right, and then when he shot a guy, I just threw the nigga whole body at him and just booked up out of there. You sound like one of them niggas. You know what I'm saying? For real. I'm that shit. Y'all think I'm victim shaming? I ain't victim shaming. She got paid out. Your case was concluded, man. Respectfully. So my point is, once you took that settlement and those obligations that you signed, right, under the confidentiality agreement, am I wrong? Some of the shit you be talking about on these blogs, you talking about what niggas should be saying. Have you ever took careful consideration that a lot of the shit you've been saying for the past couple of years wasn't either? Have you ever took into consideration that you could be countersued? You understand what I'm saying? And we both know you ain't got the money for that. So let's stop playing. Stop being over here, you understand what I'm saying? Pitch and woo for these motherfucking vloggers, trying to take my excerpts of my conversations talking about, yeah, you know, like I told you about the vloggers or whatever. Nah, chick. I'm different from all the other vloggers. You know that, and I know this. I was actually around during them years when what's going on with you was going on. You understand what I'm saying? On everything I love. On everything I love. You understand what I'm saying? On everything I love, mom. What we talking about here? What we talking about here? I was actually around them years when that happened to you. And we went to court with Puff and all that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So we remember what happened. We remember you, and that's why I say salute to you. I don't want in no way the message to get across that I'm trying to make fun of Natalia or this. Natalia did have an accident. It's just the severity that's under question with me. You got hit with bullet fragments, man. You ain't get hit with a whole slug. Because if you would have got hit with a whole slug, no matter those 3 different bullet types that I just mentioned to you, if y'all picked that up earlier. Because what I was trying to tell y'all was, depending on the velocity of the ammo, depending on the sharp, round, or long tip. You understand what I'm saying? That's usually what you see, like with a longer shell like that versus a shorter shell like that versus another shorter shell that's like that, which is not meant for very much travasity. Like it's short range. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what caliber they had in that gun, but all 3 of those calibers fire off the same way, which the pin has to hit the fucking bullet fragments that boost the trajectory of the bullet go off second, and then off third is the what do you call it, the separation from the cartridge and the bullet itself. You understand what I'm saying? So what she got hit with, she didn't get hit with the bullet. If she got hit with the bullet, her whole schnauz would have been gone. I ain't even gonna hold you. She know that and I know that. Where she got hit at, her whole schnauz would have been gone. You understand what I'm saying? At that motherfucking area right there. So I don't never want it to or make people think that I'm making fun of Natalia. It's horrible what happened to Natalia in any retrospect. The only question I got is, Shorty, why the fuck you out here every fucking night talking about the same shit? Like you ain't got shit else to talk about? Nothing. You ain't got nothing to talk about. And I know there's been on the question on the minds of other people about Natalia. Like, all right, Shorty, she cool and everything, but every time we see you talking about the same shit. You ain't got no other story to you, and that's when it defines it. You see that Shorty ain't really got too much going on. That's when you be able to lift the veil and see what's really going on. You ain't got a lot of shit going on. No disrespect, but you ain't got a lot of shit going on in your life really like that. If you just said this is your modus right here, this is your continuous premise. Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. This is about to be your legacy. Talking about Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no offense, bitch, we all getting older, but you on your way to 60. And you still sitting up here talking about it. At that point, it'll be 33 years ago it happened. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to be on some JFK shit at that time. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, my point is, what's the cutoff point, Ma? You understand what I'm saying? You're not getting another check. I can guarantee you. And if you do get another check, it won't be nearly as much as that check you had the first time. That's just a fact. You ain't gonna get another 1.8. You won't get another what? You be lucky if you walk out with $500,000, and the money to shine. If he do owe you to you, he owe. You know what I'm saying? And if you only got the money that Puff paid you, and you saying that Shine still owe you, what you said, 500,000, a couple of other dollars or something like that, like then that means you got like 1 point something some change. You still got. Listen, it only costs $100,000 to invest in Arby's. It only costs, I think it's $80,000 to invest in Wingstop or some shit like that. So you could have had you a chain of them motherfuckers. And Rick Ross sitting right there in Atlanta, which is your inspiration and case an example. So don't give me that bullshit. All right, because I done looked at the motherfucking information. Instead, you took that money, did whatever the fuck most niggas do. Let me go buy a car. Let me go get some clothes. Let me go get a house that I gotta maintain. And that shit caught up with you, didn't it? So now you stuck in a Berber because you owe people out. Listen. Next time y'all interview Natalia, ask that broad how much in debt she is. Ask her how much money she owe out. I want to see that. Since y'all so quick at listening to me and anything else, ask her how much in debt she is. Y'all ain't asking the real questions. Ask her how much in debt she is. And it's gonna sound like an intrusive question, but I guarantee you she'll tell you she got some debt. I guarantee you she won't say, because no woman that's in a good financial standing is gonna be like, run me my coins, run me my coins. All goofy and shit, looking like a jigaboo on there with that blue hat. And stop wearing them church lady outfits. You ain't that motherfucking old. Goddamn church lady outfits off, looking like you just came off a motherfucking. Look like she just got off. Look like she just got out of church on Church Avenue in Brooklyn. You understand what I'm saying? Look like you just hopped off the C train. Where'd you go? I went to praise the Lord. I went to go praise the Lord today. The fuck? Look like she hopped straight off the C train. You understand me? If you in Brooklyn, you know what I'm talking about. Oh god, this nigga Diddy's hunting in Florida. This nigga really don't like Puff, man. I wonder if these niggas would have all this motherfucking energy if Puff was out. I'd always be asking that shit. Jaguar, why you put that fake ass picture in there for? You know that picture fake as shit, right? You know that picture fake as shit, right? All right. I'm gonna get back with you though, Jag. I'm gonna get back with you. Huggy Pampers, what's on? What's happening? I fuck with Huggy, but I don't fuck with Huggy, but I fuck with Huggy. Here go this goofy bitch. Some of these bras that be online, I just be laughing them because they so fucking corny. Like these bitches have no personality, no nothing. They just there. They're just like flubber. They don't even realize it. They're just like flubber. You know what I'm saying?
Things gonna happen to Sean Diddy. I'm so grateful. First, extremely articulate and capable of
And I came along sounding, I am a phenomenal woman. It was your best Jennifer Lewis impression. Yeah, you too old for this, man. You starting to look real auntie-ish in the face, too. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you.
Used to use, and he tried to sell the story, and they put a law into the annals of New York history.
No, but you talking about run you your
Guys,
coins.
young brother, I commend you to seek God's face, make amends, repent, and ask him to lead your path forward. And if that includes sitting and talking with me, I am willing to give you an audience. You need to sit down. You want to reach the prime minister's seat? First, you need to pay me that $500,000 you owe me from 2011 when we settled. You never paid.
$500,000. So that's what I said.
Run me my coins.
You hear? Run her coins. I need you to pay that $500,000. I told this whole shit about her money, dog. She don't give a fuck about these victims and all that shit. That's why I feel. I ain't trying to say y'all gotta believe like that, but that's how I feel. I don't think she give a fuck about these victims. Run her coins. Y'all ain't hear that? Run her coins. Oh, you done fucked up today, Bubby. You exposed yourself for who you really are. Now, what the hoes gonna talk about this shit? Huh?
Ask him to lead your path forward. And if that includes sitting and talking with me, I am willing to give you an audience. You need to sit down. You want to reach the prime minister's seat? First, you need to pay me that $500,000 you owe me from 2011 when we settled. You never paid. You need to pay me, run me my coins, run them. But after that, you also need to then pay me my second bag because you're in violation of the Son of Sam law. The Son of Sam law in New York says you cannot profit from your crimes. The Son of Sam was the nickname that the serial unalive.
He's not profiting from the crime, ma'am. Ma'am, you are a segment within a larger scale of a story. The documentary that Shine put out, it has nothing to do with you. That's what that means. So in fact, if he had did a movie or a documentary, I'll play some more of this bullshit in a minute. If he had did a documentary and it said the night that Natalia, Ruben, and Sean got into the shooting, and you were the place marker there, whatever the fuck case else big B, right? Then you could sue for the Son of Sam Act. But because your voice and likeness, it was pertinent to the story. It was not, in fact, the whole premise of the story. So you're gonna run into a brick wall right there. Jesus Christ, who's a violent violation of the Son of Sam Act? You are a segment within a whole compilation. I've seen people try to do this shit a million times. Like, you can't, okay, so say like the Son of Sam law is set up in a way where, say it was like somebody was put under a law that was similar to this, is Charles Manson. Charles Manson, they had tons of people that wanted him to write a book about his experiences with the Tates and everything like that. And he wasn't allowed to do it because of a similar law they had in California. He was housed at San Quentin, if I'm right. And so there was other people that were in New York that tried to do the same thing. They would try to, they get involved in the crime or something like that. They try to write a book about it, whatever the case may be. Well, they couldn't do that because if the whole entire story is about that one person in the documentary, meaning like you're just setting your scene on this one person. It's illegal. It isn't illegal though. And this is how most people get around it. And I believe Deshaun being a prime minister, I don't know what the fuck she talking about. If he wants to be the prime minister, chick, he is the prime minister. And what the fuck would that have to do with apologizing to your fucking ass and giving you some fucking money? Sean is the fucking prime minister. So that's another way you sat there and fall. See, I don't like black women like that. You try to go on that man's program and make it look like you and the white people you were around collectively were all better than Shine, when in fact you the lowest totem pole in the room. You the one on there talking about they better run me my coins. Y'all just heard the hoe say it. Excuse me, I don't mean it like that, but you know what I mean. You just heard her say it. So I'm not here to, like I said, I'm not here to shit on her. You understand what I'm saying? But I am paying attention. One more again.
Working man, but not whether or not he's talented. He got on the mic. He's
really nice butt, apparently, though. That's what everyone's saying. He knows the asset.
That's what saved her.
We did want to ask, as we talked about it earlier, like in the earlier.
This is the most pasty pale chick I ever seen in my life, and she really think she looked like a guppy fish in the face. This is one funny looking chick, and she got the chick that's talking. I'm not talking about Natalia. And this bitch got like Alf on the background, fucking the Smurfs and shit, and tattoos all weird looking and shit, baby dolls. I'm like, why the fuck are you talking to this bitch?
Parts, you had known Shine before the incident. Is there any...
You had known Shine before the incident. Did I say his name correctly? Shine.
Thing you can share about that, and what do you wish people knew about Shine?
What do you wish people knew about Shine now? This is so introspective. We're doing real journalism here, Popcorn Planet. The fuck out of here.
Well, I did know Shine. So when I was a recording artist and I was in my studio session, and a homeboy of mine, Manny, who was Shine's manager at the time, and they were trying to seek a deal for him, called me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm in the studio recording." He said, "Could he bring Shine over and him come to the studio?" And they did a couple of times. Came over to the studio. I mean, he's talented. There's no discrepancy of whether or not he's talented. He got on the mic. He spit a good 16 about cohibas. I had to look it up. They're cigars, Cuban cigars apparently. Get him a deal. Okay? So now that you've made this ascension into politics and you are trying to get to the seat of the prime minister, you got amnesia and you don't remember that you was my friend and I was your friend. I need you to show some contrition and do what's right. I said on another podcast, I was interviewed by Jesse Wu, and I said, I will sit down and talk.
Yeah, I said it on another podcast. Of course you did. That's what you fucking do. You hop from podcast to fucking podcast to fucking podcast. I can't fucking keep up.
To Shine. Because I think he can be redeemable, but I think he is being ill-advised by people. You know, they have like in the adjustment bureau.
He can be redeemed, says me, because I've been sent here personally by God to tell you who can be redeemed and who can't. I walk in the sanctity of the Lord. I am the most precious. Yes, I am. I'm Natalia Rubin, the same person that just said 5 minutes ago, run me my motherfucking coins. Bitch, get the fuck out of here.
They paid the strategist to tell them how much to scuff the shoes so he could look like a hard-working man, but not so much that he couldn't leave. That's what's happening here. You are being ill-advised, young brother. I commend you.
No, you being ill-advised, young brother. I commend you. Like you see what I mean? Like the attitude, the actress role. Like, chick, are you out of your fucking mind? This nigga has an envoy that travels with him. You sound stupid. And then you try to put yourself, like, I noticed that a lot of Black American women, they always are continuously doing this little thing. They can walk into a room of them niggas, it's 10 niggas in the room, and all of them multimillionaires. This bitch work at Starbucks making coffee, and she will walk in that room and literally project in her mind that she is better than every last man in that room. Not because she makes more money, not because she's stronger, but because she has a pussy.
Seek God's face. Make amends, repent, and ask him to lead your path forward. And if that
How the fuck you know? You talk to John? You talk to Jesus?
That includes sitting and talking with me. I am willing to give you an audience. You need
This bitch is likened herself to God.
He can be redeemable, but I think he is being ill-advised by people. You know, they have the like in the Adjustment Bureau, they pay the strategist to tell them how much to scuff the shoes.
This is who y'all donating
like a
to.
hard-working man, but not so much that he couldn't lead. That's what's happening here. You are being ill-advised, young brother. I commend you to seek God's face. Make amends, repent, and ask him to lead your path forward. And if that includes sitting and talking with me, I am willing to give you an audience. You need to sit down. You want to reach the prime minister's seat? First, you need to pay me that $500,000 you owe me from 2011 when we settled. You never paid. You need to pay me, run me my coins, run them. But after that,
I think I would start doing more motherfucking reactions to these nasty, belligerent, self-absorbed, projectionist fucking tones of some of these women. This woman said, before you sit down and take the prime minister's seat, you need to take care of the $500,000 that you owe me and run me my coins. That's when the Brooklyn came out, that broad. Run me my coins. Shorty, you ain't nothing but a East New York hood broad. Stop it. Stop it. I know an East New York hood broad when I hear one. All niggas in Brooklyn talk like this, or they want to tap you. Yo, son. That's how they do. Yo, on my mama. But all the girls, they talk like this. Yo, on my mama. That's some Brooklyn shit. Old school Brooklyn shit, but Brooklyn shit. Run you your coins. Before he take the prominent chick, he's already the fucking prominent. What the fuck are you talking about? You talking about it's dependent on you? Well, then he takes the seat. Yo, y'all ain't peeping this shit. Y'all love, like, I can't reach a lot of black men. That's why I made the comment earlier. Because black men, they so under a slumber of mama. They love their mama. Don't listen. Their mama is everything to them. Mama. You won't separate these niggas from their mama. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these niggas love their mama so much. There's niggas right now that's listening to this bro. I know she telling a motherfucking hoospa of fucking bullshit. And they're allowing her to run because she got a pussy. Let me tell y'all something. The adoration of men of color towards chicks that look like their mama because they got a vajay is beyond comprehension. So there's niggas that will look past the obvious facts. Y'all just heard this chick say one time, run me my money.
Pays her taxes and gives to the needy and helps people for years. I'm an activist. I'm an author. I'm a mother. I was a wife. My husband, God rest his soul, is of the ages now. He's an ancestor. But I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. I am a constructive member of society that pays her taxes and gives to the needy and helps people for years. I'm an activist. I'm an author. I'm filming a docuseries. I am a multifaceted.
I'm an author. I'm filming a series. I'm bigger than Shine. That was her whole real shit right there. She was over there trying to impress some white folks. I'm actually better than Shine. And I'm actually finding this a lot more with this approach right here. Whenever you have a group of men of color in a room or in a position that they're doing better than these women, and it's obvious, the first thing they do, they won't do this to white men, but specifically they do it to men of color, specifically black men. The darker you are, the more atoned you are for this type of behavior. And the way that they would treat a white man, they won't be the same way with a white man. They will allow a white man that pass. And that's weird to me. It's odd to me, but I've seen this behavior several times. And so when I'm sitting here and I'm listening to this Natalia bullshit, I want to let y'all hear this other part where she talk about J-Lo.
To seek civil remedy for how you.
Look, I was afraid. I built this career and I want to.
Man, nobody want to hear you.
She has a redemption arc, but I know I would like her to be charged criminally. However, if they say some kind of statute of limitations, blah blah, whatever.
You know it's a statute of limitations. See, this is the thing. She know it's a statute of limitations. It was 25, almost 26 fucking years ago. You capping on here.
I didn't want to lose it all. I was living under fear under Diddy. Like, he had me under control. Is there a way for...
And so this nigga, he over there coaching her. Because you got to understand, a lot of these are not tiered white men that are interviewing these women. They think they're around tiered white men. This is why I tell you, it's very dangerous. I live here in Connecticut, right? Most of the town is black and Latino. Excuse me. Most of the state is, I said, most of the town is black and Latino. Most of the state is, what's the name? It's like Italian, Greek, Jewish, if that makes any sense or whatever. So we've always been around them. Even if you go to eat, you're always around white people. You understand what I'm saying? You might be like 6 people of color there and everybody else is Greek or Italian or Jewish. This is the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Send a link. I ain't got no link. Can I join the lot? Nah, I don't do StreamYard and all that. I tried doing it before. I don't have people to donate to me or whatever. So I don't do StreamYard thing or whatever. I don't see no need for it. So I just do it raw. Like I started out on this channel. I'm sorry about that, bro. But now I don't do the StreamYard or nothing like that. Like nobody supports my channel. You understand what I'm saying? Especially men of color. So I'm very partial with, spending on other things that I spent on in the past and to avail, not getting any help. You understand what I'm saying? So, but chicks like this, they be telling these tall tales, they get, what's the name? In the stand, she says she don't know who shot her. Yeah, and then like, Big Gene Dale, you know what I'm saying? I got to say it, Big Midwest, because he done said it on like 4 or 5 programs now, so it ain't no secret. You know what I'm saying? So you can go check for yourself. I ain't got to say it. He said the same thing. She know the Shine hit her. My trajectory is this, and my part of the story is this. You said Shine was your friend. All right? You said Shine was your friend, right? You said you knew Shine from the block in Brooklyn, East New York, right? Okay, so you knew Shine in Brooklyn, right? Not only did you know Shine in Brooklyn, y'all went to the same studio and everything else. Turn around, Shine is the one that shot you. You know Shine shot you, fast forward. But since that's your friend, you still got obligation. You don't want to see your friend go down, right? Because in your mind, it's like you talking down on him now. You was talking down on him then. Oh, you just a bike messenger. She even said that on this white man's program. I'm going to play that part for you. Oh, he was just a bike messenger. Yeah, bike messenger that ended up being a multi-millionaire and traveling the world and having one of the biggest singles there ever was from Bad Boy Entertainment. You mean that little guy? So that's what I mean. Like, you gotta be careful when y'all listening to these hoes on these motherfucking programs. I ain't calling her a hoe, I'm just saying. Y'all gotta be careful when y'all listen to these hoes. These bitches be out here telling niggas any and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to project like you better than Shine, but Shine's way better. He has an envoy that travels with him. What are you talking about? You don't have no envoy that travels with you. You don't have more money than him. You're asking him for $500,000 that you don't have so you can be comfortable again because of your spending habits, obviously. I can tell by that getup that you was wearing, looking like the Black Martha Stewart, that your motherfucking ass is you listen, you what you call a financial risk in dating. You a financial risk in dating, man. That's the way I look at it. Let's continue, because I want y'all to hear this shit right here.
J-Lo to get out of this at this point, or do you think she's just dug herself too deep?
She's talking about J-Lo.
Well, she has a redemption arc, but I know I would like her to be charged criminally. However, if they say some kind of statute of limitations, blah blah, whatever,
you know they're gonna say that.
Redemption arc starts with you handing over that money, because I have a right.
There she go again.
To seek civil remedy for how you impacted my life. That is the law. She has a redemption arc, but listen. I know I would like her to be charged criminally. However, if they say some kind of statute of limitations, blah blah, whatever, your redemption arc starts with you handing over that money, because I have a right to seek civil remedy for how you impacted my life. That is the law. And look at your net worth back in December 27, 1999, and look at it now, and your redemption arc. Get your calligraphy pen out and write me my check.
It's true.
Write me my cash, J-Lo. I have a right to...
Here, once again, she talking about cash. So as time progresses, if y'all not figuring it out, Natalia is letting y'all know what I already told y'all already before. This chick is out here for the paper. You understand what I'm saying? She out here for the paper. I said, I know something ain't funny, because like if you was doing it for advocacy, then every time that you got interviewed, then now you done heard on 2 segments right there talk about it. I just play one. This is one whole video, and twice she says it once she's spoken about Sean, so we're not confused. Then she turns around and says it a second time when she's talking about J-Lo. This broad want bread. Run me my money. Give me my money. You understand what I'm saying? Because you in a tight and hard spot. Stop buying expensive ass clothes trying to look like the Black Martha Stewart, like you worth more than you what you towing right now. The money done ran out, Sean. I know I talked about it earlier. Puff gave her 1.8 in 2011. She got the money. She spent the money. She ain't invested the money the right way. Listen, even if you say Sean owe you $500,000, that means that you got $1.3 million in your hand, all right? Or in your bank account, or however, 1.3. That ain't the shit that you need in installments and the disbursements, but maybe with your spending habits, maybe that's what you meant. What I think you're seeing is you're seeing a woman trying to maintain a lifestyle. And that's what I see from a lot of these hoes that's trying to here talking about they want to, the ghost of bitches past, as I like to call them, ghost of bitches past. You know what I'm saying? These hoes be online and be trying to get interviewed by everybody, talk to everybody, and every time they talking, they ain't never got a remedy at the end of this shit where they like, this is what girls need to do, or here's a link so you can hit this, or here's, you know what I'm saying, if you young ladies want to get your credit scores together, something like that. They ain't never got no shit like that. At the end of every motherfucking one of their speeches, these bitches got a cash app. They don't care about these girls. And I keep telling y'all that the girls are literally just a fucking segue for the bigger bunch of fuck shit that comes along with these chicks. Now, shorty, I don't give a fuck what you say. You were hurt, and you were damaged, and I feel sorry for you. I honestly and truthfully do. But bitch, you got 1.3, all right? I'll leave you with the 500 that you said Sean owe you. So let's say 1.3. You still got more than most motherfuckers ever see in their whole entire life. And you trying to tell me that 1.3, you couldn't go and make something happen? Tell me a nigga right now to get 1.3 or 1.8 that can't go make some shit happen. Nigga, give me $3,000 right now. I won't even come on this motherfucker no more for the next month. Because I'm doing nothing but filming fucking shit. I'm getting new pieces. I'm investing my money so I can come back here and do that again. This is why I don't hang out like that. Y'all ever notice that I don't hang out? I don't hang out because why should I go blow? It costs $120 to be outside. Real talk. It costs $120 to be outside. You understand? So I don't blow money like that. But if you somebody like that never had money, you from the slums of Brooklyn, and you give this motherfucker $1.3 million, they're not going to be the best money managers money can buy. That's all I'm telling you. This is the problem that's always been with rappers and niggas just in general in the New York City area. You put these motherfuckers that come from poverty, you fuck around and give them niggas $200,000, $300,000. This motherfucker might go take the whole fucking block out and equip everybody with work. You understand what I'm saying? That's how that shit go. And it's always been like that. A lot of people don't know that problem that happens up here. A lot of these motherfuckers, they get money and you wonder, well, how did they get broke? How did that happen? Because he comes from poverty. And then the motherfuckers try to equate it to a baby that was born in 2000 something. And I keep trying to tell y'all, okay, you're 25 now. You were born in the year 2000. You were born in 2005, whatever, right? But this is the thing. You missed a whole era that was just 2 years before you were born that wasn't contestant of those rules that you live by now that came into effect probably at the age of 15 for you around about 2015, 2016. These conversations wasn't being had. Financial literacy, which Boyce Watkins brought that for. These conversations wasn't being had. You better invest in Bitcoin in 2001. These conversations wasn't being had. So when Natalia, I understand the background she come from. These conversations wasn't being even though she want to act like right now. Oh, she'll say some shit based on her personality because she's a real snooty broad. That's one thing I found. Your acting role is great, baby. You got a great acting role over there. You should get that motherfucker an Oscar because the acting role is superb. From my point of view, I don't think she know who shot her because in the stand, she said she don't know who shot her. There you go. Like, first you know who shot you, then you don't know who shot you, then you said J-Lo shot you, then Sean didn't shoot you. Then I'm fucking confused too, G. I'm confused too. That's my whole business for being here. But one thing I did clarify, just based off her own fucking words, chick, you in this shit for money. I don't want one bitch ass motherfucking African American and Latino coming to my page for at least the next fucking couple of weeks talking about some shit when I talk about my fucking cash out. When this motherfucker over there, she's sitting over there hustling y'all niggas and hustling y'all mind. She ain't even hustling y'all money. She hustling y'all mind and your money. First, you ain't know who shot you. Then you know who shot you. Then you motherfucking said it was Puff after fucking you get this lawsuit settlement 7 years later. 7 years later, when the money started running low, all of a sudden it was Puff. We need to bring back up the investigation. You capped in the motherfucking shit you just did right here talking about, well, you know, the statute of limit. Of course the statute of limitations is over, fucker. It's 25 years ago. The fuck you mean? Well, they'll probably run something because you know what the fuck they gonna run because you done tried it already. Good try. I know a Brooklyn hustling broad when I see one. I know a Brooklyn hustler. You know how many I know Brooklyn hustling chicks are better than you. You try some old Betty shit. Get out of here with that Auntie Old Betty shit. That's that Auntie Betty shit. You know that Auntie Betty shit. Here come Miss Cleo. I'm just using that example. Here come Miss Cleo. You know she always look nice. How you doing, baby? I'm all right. Whole time this bitch running hooch out the crib after motherfucking liquor store hours over. You understand what I'm saying? That's how she get her money. Whole time she's selling pistols out of basement. You understand what I'm saying? She said she never said Puff shot her. She now saying Puff shot her. It wasn't shot. She said Puff, I heard her out of her mouth several times. She said Puff shot her now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm confused. First Puff shot you, then it was Shine that shot you, then it's back to Puff. Shine gets convicted. You wait 7 years after you get a settlement. 7 years later, you saying Puff shot you now. You know, like you trying to take it back to court. That's what you was really trying to do. So let me try to tell you what I mean. What you do is you tell your lawyer, we got new information. It was actually Puff that did it. So now you hoping for a retrial, but the statute of limitations ran dry on that shit because it was 11 years. You were lucky you could even get a litigation. That means that they didn't even want to pay you that much. Because Puff had $10 million back then. You understand what I'm saying? It's a fact. Puff had way more than $10 million back then. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about at the time the shit happened, Puff had $10 million. You understand? So even if he would have waited it out 3, 4, 5 more years, he still would have had that $10 million. In fact, he was able to give you 1.2, right? 1.3, something like that. Sean owe you the other 500,000, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Like, we smell the chuck, as they say in Brooklyn. Shit smell kind of funny up in here. You know what I'm saying? So quit trying to run that Brooklyn. Because, see, them dumbass motherfuckers over there, you could tell by the way she was talking. Can you tell us about Shine? Oh, can you tell us? I got something for Diddy. He comes around me. Yeah, I hear you, bitch. Better keep your little country ass and shut the fuck up. Stay out of grown folks' business. Bitch got Alf and motherfucking the Smurfs on the back of her wall talking about pistols. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You and Barney fucking Rubble over there. Better watch yourself. You understand? Yeah, you be talking a whole bunch of shit on there. Whole bunch of shit. And the Diddy this and the Diddy that, the Diddy this. Where the fuck do you live at anyway? Wyoming, Ohio, some shit like that. The popcorn fat fuck. Where does he live at? Anybody know where the popcorn nigga, where they located at? I know it's somewhere rural because I can tell by their fucking accents. Country motherfuckers trying to act like they know something about this. Is our business. You don't know shit about this shit. And I'm kind of quite insulted that you hoes running over there getting these people involved and nobody say nothing. You hoes got to stop running over here, running to other motherfuckers telling our fucking stories and shit like that. And there should be some penalty for that shit for bitches that do that shit. That's where I'm at with it. If you a bitch just running over there and you telling whoever our business instead of coming to the dinner table and telling us first before you run and go do it, I think we should have some penalties for that shit. I don't think niggas should be still motherfucking supporting you financially any other way. J-Lo better run me my paper. Shine better run me my paper. You said that over there with them white folks because you would have never said that on a black podcast. You would have never said it because you know niggas would have canceled you out. You went over there and said that with them folks so you could stay all that fucking yaki in your hair, looking like you look like it took you 15 hours to make that shit up. What up, Huggy? What's going on? I don't fuck with your girl, Huggy. I'm over here talking my motherfucking ass. I'm letting you know right now, I don't fuck with her. I know a Brooklyn hustler bitch when I see one. I ain't calling her a bitch, but I'm just saying, she an old school Brooklyn hustling chick. When she over there on the Popcorn Planet spot, that's a new spot they go to now, don't you know? When you over there, and you sitting over there and you matriculating stories and you adding sauce to this fucking spaghetti and shit, I ain't too much with that. So I know what I done heard, because I heard this chick talking for years. And ironically enough, I was around Bad Boy when this shit was happening. I done said on many podcasts, we went to court with this nigga down at the Javits Center. I was interviewed by ABC and MTV with Sway himself. Shout out to my man Scroogeman Bucks out in Queens. You know what I'm talking about. So I've been here before. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it's quite hard for people to understand. I went through this shit with the nigga back then. You understand? So my thing is, now I wasn't at the club per se. You understand what I'm saying? But all the aftermath that followed after that, this is when we were first coming in. You get what I'm saying, Huggy? So when I'm sitting up there, whatever, I remember this chick. I remember what happened to her, and it was two subsequently other people. I was sitting here explaining the difference between what really happened to her and what she projects what happened to her. Now, today I heard her tell a story, and I was playing some parts of it. You know what I'm saying? Come on, don't try to correct my behavior, man. I'm just sitting here talking about shit like that. Don't try to correct my behavior. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your man. I don't want to argue with you either. Just listen what the fuck I gotta say. You understand what I'm saying? This is the way I fucking talk. You know that. All right. Now, my point is, respectfully, you understand? The chick turned around and she tells today the story. And this is the extended version. You know what I'm saying? This is the extended version. The extended version is inclusive now of she walked down the steps. She had a conversation with a nigga and all kinds of other shit. And then she was sitting there waiting because she believed that Puff was going to come in there and finish the fucking job. Man, get the fuck up out of here, bro. Get the fuck up out of it. What the fuck you talking? When this version get entered into the scenario? You understand what I'm saying? Now that's not fucking tearing nobody down. That's just what's fucking right is right. You understand what I'm saying? I never heard this version. Any of y'all ever heard this version? I never heard this fucking version. If you've heard this version that she speaks of, y'all let me fucking know. Because I never fucking heard it. And I seen this broad in fucking at least 15 to 20 fucking interviews. So what I'm saying is today when she had the little conversation today over there at the Popcorn Planet shit or whatever, Huggy, you might want to tap in with me. I'm trying to tell you something. You understand what I'm saying? Because you be out here advocating for a lot of these chicks and a lot of these hoes be dead ass fucking wrong. You see where that Misha shit led you to, huh? You see how they try to connect you with that?
I have a right to and look at your, but I know I would like her to be charged criminally.
Now she's talking about J-Lo right here. Is
there a way for J-Lo to get out of this at this point, or do you think she's just dug herself too deep?
No, she has a redemption arc, but I know I would like her to be charged criminally. However, if they say some kind of, statute of limitations, blah, blah, whatever, your redemption arc starts with you handing over that money. Because I have a right to seek civil remedy for how you impacted my life. That is the law. And look at your net worth back in December 27, 1999, and look at it now.
That's the part.
And your redemption arc. Get your calligraphy pen out and write me my check.
It's true.
Run me my cash, J-Lo. I have a right to civil remedy. If you're truly showing contrition, you will give me the money voluntarily, because if I have to drag you into court, you best believe I'm going to bring
That's all the fuck she want is money. And when I further go down, you're going to hear her repeat the same words. So sound like to me, you understand what I'm saying? When niggas is over here talking about, yo, Huggy, I'm glad you here too, because I got some shit. But when niggas is over here talking about, yo, don't donate to him, don't support him or whatever, but support that shit, the fuck we talk about here? You know what I'm saying? But but ain't you cash up right now? Yeah, I don't be worried about that shit. Like, Huggy, I'm at the same place where you at with it. I don't be looking for African Americans or Latinos to support me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do some remarkable shit on here. I don't be looking for no African Americans or Latinos to support me. I already know what the vibes is. I got my few little people to come in, you know what I'm saying, to show support financially, whatever, and we appreciate them or whatever. But a nigga like me, nah. You know what I'm saying? You can say whatever you want to on my connection with the bad boy thing, covering the trials or whatever, whatever. But the thing is, I get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to be at that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Number two, you know what I'm saying? I'm there front line on the shit. You understand what I'm saying? And I roll with the nigga. I've been to court with the nigga before. So it ain't nothing that I go with the nigga to court again. Now, if the nigga wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you this, Huggy. If the nigga wrong, and I'm saying it like that because I don't want niggas, I don't want everybody, it's out like, I got a history with Huggy where I don't need to be like, yo, she's in the chat room. Sucker niggas do shit like that. She knows she here. I know she here. We talking. I don't feel like I feel like you a sucker. I don't know. I just feel like you a sucker if you be like, yo, I've been rolling with this nigga the whole fucking time or whatever, whatever. And this is why I said about a lot of niggas that made money with the nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Like niggas ain't speaking up, niggas ain't showing up at the court dates, niggas ain't fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like this niggas just is like disappeared. And I said, well, what happens if they eventually bring up your name? Now, nigga, you got to reappear, and now you don't even have an established relationship with the nigga, so the nigga might say anything about you. The documentary is my focus on now. Stop calling me Huggy. I'm always call you Huggy. Fuck out of here. Who's beefing before? You always gonna be Huggy. You know what I'm saying? You could call me whatever. What you call me, the nigga from fucking the PJs or some shit like that? Nigga took that shit down. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? She called me the nigga from the PJs. I was like, yo, fuck you. At the time. You know what I mean? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? So only thing I'm saying to you, Huggy, before I get up out of here, because I don't stay here too long with these niggas. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. Only thing I'm saying to you, Huggy, while you here, number one, I don't do documentaries. I don't do interviews. You know, I'll pass with a person that we equally know. You understand what I'm saying? That you know what I mean? Honestly and truthfully, I saw some shit going on or whatever. I have to talk to you, but I don't want that online. But you know what I'm saying? That's why I swiveled the scoop or whatever. I was like, yo, you know what though? Niggas is trying to do the same shit with me. Nah, niggas was trying to make it so I couldn't get cash apps and shit like that. And I was doing perfectly good before I ran into niggas. So it was like, yo, it was unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. I learned my lesson. So I just don't do interviews with niggas. I don't want to talk to niggas. I don't want to do none of that. I'm gonna see what happens with this trial. You know what I'm saying? When it comes up, it's gonna be around your and my birthday. And we're gonna roll it out from there. We're gonna see what he's guilty of and what he's not guilty of. I don't know nothing about no Patrice. I ain't talked to no Patrice and God knows how long. So I don't know what you're talking about with that. Yeah, I don't do the conspiracy theories. Ain't nobody here that you were beefing with. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit. So that's why I kept referring to you as Huggy, because I don't want niggas to be like, oh, this. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. Niggas will try to attach themselves to somebody when they see they fucking, you know what I mean? They like on the line and, you know, they get a couple numbers up. Now they start throwing the names and the titles and shit like that or whatever. I don't have to do that with Huggy. The only thing I got to do is, you know what I'm saying? She hear that name. She know I'm talking about some other shit. You understand what I'm saying? So don't think that I'm blind. I ain't blind, chick. You understand what I'm saying? I peep shit for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And even with your diatribes, I'll say sometimes some of the shit you say, maybe, you know what I mean? And then some of the shit you say be, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't traumatized, man. Don't try to psychoanalyze me. I ain't traumatized. I'm more so in the factor of if the man is guilty, then he's guilty. If the man is innocent, then he's innocent. It's descriptive by the court of law. That's what we live for here in New York City, tri-state. And there's gonna be other niggas that'll be the same way. You know what I mean? I can guarantee you that. They're not gonna roll with that. You know what I'm saying? It's already been talking about it already. And you know what I mean? That's all need to be said. But yeah, it ain't about being traumatized. Am I shocked? That'll be a better word. I'm shocked, yeah. You know, I worked with that company for 17 years. This was, you know, my plan and effort. I'm sure you can agree with this. You told your son probably stories about, yeah, well, all the great times that you had, and you know what I'm saying, all that shit or whatever. Listen, I'm not getting into semantics with you. That's how I want you here. This is not a Q&A with me. You know better than that with me. We having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you know what I mean? Like we have to see what happens. You know what I mean? And whether you play on your perspective or I play on my perspective, neutrality, you know what I'm saying? You play your perspective on this stream of what you play your respect on. It is what it is at the end, whatever this judge decides, not what you, I, or a court on fucking YouTube decide. That's just reality of it. I ain't got the keys to Puff Cell right now. Neither do you. Neither do none of these YouTubers. So, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like that a lot of people coming out of the woodwork And I'm glad that you saw with the Misha chick and the other chick, because I said that shit probably, I don't know, for my people that's really here, I said that shit probably like a week and a half after I first seen him. I said, yo, that shit sound cap. You know what I'm saying? And I also say, and a lot of people know this, and I've said this openly a million times now. It's like, it's funny, like we were everywhere with these niggas. Like we was at hotels, clubs, everything. We were everywhere with them. This is a fact. Like after the 4th, 5th year we was with them, we went everywhere with them. And so we never saw none of that funny shit. And that's why even when I saw the shit with Cassie or whatever, I noticed wasn't nobody else there. It was just him. And if there was a prostitute there, then the prostitute was there too. But it was just them three. So that's the difference between somebody's private life versus the entourage life versus the life that you might be perspective. And all of us have all three of those. You understand what I'm saying? All of us. You know what I mean? So I just say, you know what I mean? I was shocked by that. Will it be some other shit that might be out there? Who knows? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you one thing. I wore this jacket out today because I wanted to see the responses from people when I had it on, right? And most people, because of the colors mostly, it's some Nick colors, y'all already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers was looking at me and they was just like, yo, that's a nice jacket. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you the significance with this jacket for me. This is all the work that I put in. This is all the nights that we sat at Blimpies, motherfuckers scraping together money to buy sandwiches. This is all the nights that niggas was running and jumping the turnstile because we had spent money all during the day, so we had no money left to get no Metro card. That's what that means to me. You understand what I'm saying? The same way you and Philly Blunt's crew, same way you and the Roots crew and all the memories you have. Bad thing about life is sometimes you gotta let memories go though. You understand what I'm saying? And so I keep that in horizon in case I have to do that. I cannot be, that's cool. I cannot be associated with that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? By any degree or whatever. So my plan and where I stick at, even when I'm covering shit, is I stick by the plan of neutrality, you know? Niggas is guilty, niggas is guilty. Niggas is nada, tú sabes, esa vida ahí. You know what I mean? Está tranquilo conmigo, porque tú sabes, esa mi mano ahí, tú sabes, claro que sí en la mente. But, you know what I mean? En las mujeres, tú sabes, esa es las mujeres. Pero la chocha, tú sabes más, esa es las mujeres no les gusta, está tan bueno, párate ahora. So, we'll sit back and we'll see what the fuck happens. How about that? We got a long time. And Huggy, you and I both getting fucking old, so I know you ain't even wait no birthday either. You know what I'm saying? So I can wait that May out. So that's all I got to say about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you stopped by and all that shit. You know what I mean? I appreciate you. You know what I mean? And that's what that is or whatever. Now, sliding back to Natalia. Natalia, I ain't your worst enemy. I ain't trying to beef with you. I'm merely pointing out the capuckles that you having online right now. You understand what I'm saying? And there's someone that's next in line. I want to assure you this. It's going to be a time where somebody going to challenge what you're saying and all that big talk you're saying just because you're on these folks' program and shit like that. And I want you to be aware of that. And be careful when you out here preaching what you preaching and saying what you're saying, because sooner or later, somebody might come check you about that. And you might actually lose out on money that you thought you were owed. So be careful. You understand what I'm saying? Watch when you talk on these people's programs. I'm not against you. I'm not going to start a full campaign against you. I don't hate you, but I do see some inconsistencies and shit. And I see you adding sauce to the motherfucking marinara, and I don't like that shit. And you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, man. So let's not play no games. Let's be like, oh my God, what are you talking about? All that East New York shit. Nah, get the fuck out of here. I hang over there. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know some East New York game when I hear it. Huggy, I holler at you.